What's going on, crypto heads? It's Skeezy all day here with Crypto Chronicles. If you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button. We on to 1,000, y'all. We up there. We getting there. Crypto Chronicles is going strong. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, so we just gonna dive right into it. We're gonna be talking about the Ethereum merge and why it's delayed. When will we expect something? A word on when it will be launched? The new net, um, and what's going on with it. So, um, when would the merge line? When would it happen? So, Tim Biko or Bako made a tweet on the 13th. Um, I think it's right here. It said he didn't expect my tweets from yesterday to cause such a reaction. I appreciate that. It can be hard to praise the progress on the merge when you aren't deep in the process. Try to provide some content here. So let's see what he got. So it's a merge timeline. When will the merge happen? There is no official date for the merge yet. A date will only be set once the client teams are confident that the software implementations have been thoroughly tested and are bug free. Any date announcement will be communicated on blog.ethereum.org. So it was already said it was supposed to be launched in like May. May, the coin was supposed to launch, and they had some bugs. They couldn't launch it. They said it was going to be like a late second quarter. Now they saying like late third quarter, um, beginning of fourth quarter. And we're going to get into that. So let's see what needs to happen before the merge. As of April 2022, all client teams have in progress implementations for the merge, which have been tested by test suites. The launch of new testnets and shadow forks. Shadow forks run against both existing testnets and Ethereum mainnet. Have revealed implementation issues in clients. Teams are now fixing these and regularly rerunning shadow forks to test fixes. Once clients works without issues during shadow forks, then the existing Ethereum testnet, Ropsten, Gorilla, etc., will be run through the merge. An announcement will be made on the blog.ethereum.org. At this point, once testnets have successfully upgraded and remain stable, then time will be set for the upgrade to happen on the Ethereum mainnet. Um, the merge, unlike previous Ethereum upgrades, will not be triggered by block time. Instead, it will be triggered by total difficulty value. Given these are harder to estimate than block times, the delay between choosing a time for the merge and going live on the network may be slightly shorter than prior Ethereum upgrades. So, a list of tasks to be completed before the mainnet upgrade can be found here. So, that is that. They talking about the delay and what needs to happen. They need to successfully launch the shadow fork for them to be able to launch it, on the mainnet. So we looking at a time bomb here. We looking at the delay. So how does the difficulty time bomb? How does the difficulty bomb affect the timeline? The difficulty bomb is expected to start being noticeable on the Ethereum network around May, to start noticeably contributing to block times in June, July. So we going like June, July, maybe August. Miners, y'all hear that? But I wouldn't suggest going out buying no equipment if you haven't already, obtained it or got it. Um, it is probably not going to pay off by the time the main net launches. So you better off just, you know, maybe buying the coin, or hey, CPU mining is really profitable. So you put that money elsewhere, you might be able to, you know, juggle a few things around. So let's talk about this this time bomb here. And to make blocks unbearably read 15 to 20 seconds slow by August. Its progress is being tracked here. So you see that, y'all? If client developers do not think they can deploy the merge to the mainnet before block times are slowed too much, it will need to be delayed again. Two options are possible to delay the bomb: the combine merge and bomb delay. If we only need the delay, the bomb, a few weeks, we can combine a bomb delay with client releases for the merge. The way this would work is that the release would delay the bomb at the certain block, restoring 13 seconds block time, and then activate the merge shortly after. Because the merge needs to happen fairly close to client releases, this scenario is only helpful if we want to delay the bomb by a few weeks. So they might, you know, delay it a few weeks if they see that the combined merge is you know, on its way to work. They might, you know, say, hey, you know, we need a few weeks. The separate bomb delay. If we don't expect to activate the merge on the Ethereum mainnet before the block time becomes unbearably slow, then a separate network upgrade, which only delays the difficulty bomb, will need to happen prior to the merge. Note that the time by which we delay the difficulty bomb is independent of which the merge happens. For example, if we delayed the bomb by 6 months, we could merge before that. Similarly, if we delayed the bomb 3 months and found a major issue right before it goes off again, another bomb delay would be considered. So they talking about, you know, maybe longer, guys. Maybe like, you know, October, September, October. Maybe, maybe not. We see. Um, so, you know, the people that's thinking that, hey, E2 dropping, you know, I'm gonna stake them, I'm gonna pull my coins out. They already got some for that. So you're not just pulling a plug and becoming rich overnight. They got something for that. They do. So it's not happening, guys. Let's see. Um, Withdrawals. How will staking withdrawals actually work? I have seen a couple specs floating around, but I don't see anything with obvious consensus on it. If you look at the deposit contract, there is literally one right method: deposit. There is simply no logic for withdrawal. Withdrawals will not be enabled at the merge. They will come in fork after. Here's a current specification for them. So they gonna launch this like a year later, guys. So if y'all thinking y'all about to just pull the plug out and run with the money, it ain't happening. It ain't happening, guys. So you know, think about your investments. Think about what you want to do, what you got going on, and you know, I mean, I think that in a year's time, I mean, it probably grown a substantial amount. So, I mean, why not take the risk? And it's not financial advice, guys. One bit, but high risk, high reward. Uh, Name of the game. So, um, they really got some kinks to work out before this launches. And I want to go over another tweet by Baco here. And it's why Ethereum's merge. Get out of here. Why Ethereum's merge was delayed and why it won't reduce gas fees much. So it's not about to reduce gas fees either, guys. So if you thinking, oh man, when the merge happened, I'm just gonna buy a whole bunch of ETH because the transaction fees are gonna be low. Not true. So that's what that consensus layer that they gonna add, that fork they gonna add after. But let's see what they saying right here, guys. Tim Baco, the Ethereum Foundation coordinator for core developers, discusses his recent estimation that Ethereum's merge where the network transitions from proof of work to proof of stake will be delayed into the second half of 2022. Show topics. What is Ethereum merge? What the Ethereum merge is. Why upcoming difficulty bomb could force developers to delay the merge. What shadow forks are and how they affect the decision going forward with the merge. How the network difficulty is used in the Ethereum to keep a balance between the blockchain and miners. Tim's purposefully vague timeline for the merge. How the merge could increase Ethereum's throughput by 9% and thus potentially reduce gas fees slightly. How Ethereum's foundation plans to address gas fees and scaling issues post-merge. Okay, so I'm not about to read all of this, but I'm about to actually, we'll watch this video. How about that, guys? And I'm not going to watch this whole thing.
Book clubs, in which you can discuss my book, The Cryptopians, with me in a group of 22 people. Starting on April 26th, we will sell NFT tickets to 5 book clubs, all of which will take place on my Discord, and they'll be from May 2nd to May 10th. 2 of the book clubs will feature a special guest. Also be in the daily 20% annual yield.
Right, like what is the Ethereum merge? So today, Ethereum basically has 2 chains running in parallel. One of those is a proof of work chain, which uses mining, just like Bitcoin, to generate new blocks on the network. And this is the chain that most end users interacting with Ethereum would kind of know as Ethereum. This is where smart contracts get deployed, where most of kind of users' funds sit. Previously, we would call this Ethereum 1. We've tried to move away from that. In parallel to that, we've also launched in December 2020 a proof of stake chain. So proof of stake, since the very beginning of Ethereum, was on the roadmap. We always knew we wanted to switch from proof of work to proof of stake, and it just took a ton of work to get to something which we thought was secure and decentralized enough for Ethereum. So even when we had that, to be sure that we would not kind of break the network and all the applications that are running, instead of just switching directly, we decided to launch a chain in parallel. And so since December 2020, that proof of stake chain has been running and now has tens of billions of dollars kind of securing it, and basically runs the entire proof of stake algorithm, but the blocks don't contain any end user transactions. So all the blocks on this proof of stake chain, they contain some metadata around proof of stake and the consensus algorithm itself, but they don't run end user transactions. And so the idea with the merge is that to move Ethereum from proof of work to proof of stake, we're going to keep the current chain, which has all of the applications, which we call the execution layer now, and basically change the rules by which it decides how to create a new block in the chain to go from proof of work to following the beacon chain. And what happens in practice is, we set a total difficulty value, which we can dive into later. Once we hit the certain mining difficulty on the network, the current execution chain basically stops listening to proof of work, and instead will start looking at the proof of stake chain to tell it what is the next block. And from that point, from like the proof of stake perspective, validators will be producing blocks which now include transactions from end users and smart contracts. And this whole process is basically going to be instantaneous from like the Ethereum chain's perspective. So you'll have like the last proof of work block, and then the next block gets produced by a validator on the beacon chain, and we just continue that way. So it's been kind of years of work, but now we have a design which will be kind of seamless from a smart contract perspective for the transition.
And so most people thought, and this wasn't official, but most people expected it to happen in June, but you tweeted that it will probably happen in the months after. So why is that?
Right. So we never had like an official date for the merge, and I appreciate that we've been saying it's soon for many years, and the community is very eager to see this happen. And the reason why we don't have a date is just fundamentally it's impossible to predict these things because there's so many unknown unknowns, right? Like nobody has done this ever, and so at best what we can say is like look at how well things are going and kind of project in the future, but that assumes we don't hit some unknown issue, which we kind of always end up doing because this technology is so new that there's so many moving parts. So we try to shy away from giving dates, but then there's always like some pressure for like when is this roughly coming, and within Ethereum this difficulty bomb. So this feature that means we need to upgrade the chain every so often, otherwise the chain stops working, and this will start kicking off around June. So when we get to June, we basically have to make a decision around, are we ready to move Ethereum to proof of stake, or do we want to push this bomb back again? And so obviously, no one on the development side wants to move forward with the merge if it's not ready and if it's not safe for the network. So if we didn't get to June and it's we're not ready, then we'll just push back the bomb and make sure that we are in a spot that we're comfortable with before we go to mainnet. And I guess the thing that's also worth noting is this difficulty bomb is kind of a gradual process, so it doesn't make the network unusable overnight. It's slowly gets worse, and then it's an exponential curve. So at some point it gets much worse, much quicker. So we kind of have this range between June and like probably late July, early August, where you might see longer block times on Ethereum, and if we thought that we were just ready, we might choose to not push back the bomb and have longer block times for a month or two. And I think this is kind of where we're at right now. Like we are pretty far along in the development process. We're starting to think about deploying this to mainnet, but we're definitely not at the point where it is completely bug free and there's no more issues and it's a no-brainer then just deploy to mainnet. So we're kind of in this middle section where we might have to delay the bomb. There's a chance we might not, and we're obviously watching and testing very closely to see exactly what to do.
So what needs to happen or what needs to be in place for Ethereum to feel comfortable actually executing the merge?
Right, that's a great question. And historically, what we've done when we have upgrades is, we'll write all these EIPs into clients, we'll run a bunch of tests for them, we'll sometimes deploy a couple of new test nets to test them, and then we'll move to the existing test nets on Ethereum. So like Rinkeby, Gordy, Roxton, and whatnot. The thing that's happened over the years, though, is like these testnets now have a lot of usage. So like Ethereum's testnets have as much usage as some like actual layer 1 blockchains. Like Reddit, for example, has a ton of its infrastructure on one of the testnets. And so we don't want to break these if we don't have to. So we kind of introduced a new step in the process, which we call shadow forking. And what shadow forking does is we basically launch an upgrade on an existing network, but only using a very small number of nodes that basically the testing teams and client development teams control. And what happens then is, these nodes will fork off when the block is hit, but there'll only be a small number of nodes, and they'll still be able to replay all of the transactions from the main network. And that gives us kind of a way to test as though we were forking test nets, but without bringing the whole thing down if there are errors. So we've been running through this process. We first ran through it on Gordy. This week, or late last week or early this week, we had the first run on a mainnet shadow fork as well. And so we've basically, those forks have been successful in that we've managed to get the network to finalize after. But the thing to note there is like the way the proof of stake algorithm is done is it's meant to be resilient to a lot of things going wrong. So that in case there's an attack on Ethereum or something like that, ideally the chain keeps chugging along. So even though these testnets have like shadow fork successfully and they keep finalizing on the other side, we have noticed like a lot of issues with clients and a bunch of different edge cases and whatnot. And those are the things we're trying to fix now, because I said this on Twitter yesterday, like, yes, we could, ship this tomorrow and like maybe the network would completely crash. But that's not like the level of certainty we want to have before we transition Ethereum, which just has a huge amount of value sitting on top of it. So the next few weeks to like maybe months for us is really like running these shadow forks, making sure that we catch all the issues, we obviously fix them. And once that is stabilized, then we can start looking at just forking the existing test nets and making sure those work all right. And once that's done, then we would fork mainnet.
Yeah, and just to make it clear for people, obviously Ethereum is the second largest crypto, but as I've heard some people discussing on CoinDesk, there's so many assets built on top of Ethereum as well. So when you add up all that economic activity, I mean, it's huge. So that's, when you're just trying to shift that all over to this new chain, that obviously is a delicate transition. All right, so in a moment, we're going to talk a little bit more about kind of like, the specifics about how this will happen. But first, a quick word from the sponsors who make this show possible. Join over 10 million people using Crypto.com, the easiest place to buy, earn, and spend over 150 cryptocurrencies. Spend your crypto anywhere using the Crypto.com Visa card. Get up to exchange. Create an account today and make utility trades. So one thing that you kind of said a little bit earlier was that will not happen at a certain block, but rather at this difficulty number. And we have talked about the difficulty time bomb, but just can you talk a little bit about how that transition will happen?
The difficulty bomb and the total difficulty are separate concepts, which they have similar names, but the way that proof of work works is every block, there's like a specific difficulty that it takes to mine it. And when more people try to mine on the network, we raise that difficulty so that the block time stays the same and blocks don't get mined too quickly. And similarly, when less people mine, we lower it so that it's easier to mine blocks and blocks don't take too long. But we also keep track of what's the total amount of difficulty that's been mined on the entire chain. So this is basically the sum of every single block's difficulty since the Ethereum Genesis block. For the merge, instead of using just a block number, what we want to do is use a total difficulty value. So to say once the network hits this much difficulty on the proof of work chain, then we transition to proof of stake.
And you mean for all time?
Yes, exactly, for all time. And the reason for that is that difficulty is just costly to fake. Maybe an aside here is miners might not be happy with the merge, right? Like at the very least, we can't assume they'll be happy with the merge. So we want something which is as hard as possible for them to fake and as independent as them for the process to happen. And so by using the total difficulty, you basically make it really hard to fake kind of the second merge chain because you would then need to like spend all these mining resources to create that chain. So it just gives us a bit more confidence in the block number, where if you use the block number, you can imagine a miner mining kind of a shadow fork, or shadow fork is probably the wrong term because it's a real thing now, but a miner mining like a minority fork in secret for months, and then, they might be able to hit that block because over time the difficulty has lowered on their fork, and they can kind of reveal that right at the merge and mess things up because there's now two competing forks. So in order to avoid that, we just look at which fork actually has the greatest amount of proof of work. And once we hit kind of that threshold value, which we call the terminal total difficulty, then we kind of hand everything off to the proof of stake chain. And the thing that's kind of interesting here is like, there might be different blocks which hit this terminal total difficulty because Ethereum, has uncle blocks happening. So it might be possible that, once we get to the merge, there's 2 or maybe even 5 blocks that all show up at the same time. But the way it's designed, only the first block which hits or exceeds that terminal total difficulty is like a valid final proof of work block. And then the validator on the beacon chain who creates the net block gets to choose which of those valid blocks they see as the previous canonical block. And so just like today, how you can have like an uncle block on Ethereum, which just gets orphaned by the chain, we have the same situation where maybe at the merge, there's a handful of competing blocks, but then we just rely on the validator to choose that. And then, the validator afterwards will point back to the block that the previous validator chose. And at that point, we're 100% relying on proof of stake. And proof of work and miners generally just don't influence the 4 choice rule for Ethereum.
So I know you're probably loath to put a projection out, but can you give some sort of timeline of when you think the merge now is most likely to happen?
I'm not gonna do that. Like, unfortunately, if there's one thing I've learned this week is I won't put an explicit thing.
So I will say you did tweet probably in the months after Q2, which sort of implies to me Q3.
Right. Like, I think, we are pretty far along in the process. We think, we're almost there. There's always this unknown thing, right? Like, we could find something the day before, which is like some fatal flaw, and have to delay everything for months because it's a hard thing to fix. So that's like the thing, it's just very hard. I think, sure, if everything keeps going like it's going now, like, clearly we won't hit June, just because the reason we won't hit June is just the amount of time it takes to go on testnets and then mainnet, because we need to, like, choose when we fork, then put out those releases, give people the time to update their nodes, have the forks happen, make sure that they went well. And just, we're already mid-April, so just the amount of time, if we decided like tomorrow that we're going for mainnet, it would take probably more than 2 months to like get from, that decision to like it actually happens on mainnet. So that's why, I was pretty confident in saying like June is not going to happen. And I think we've kind of shared that in the past on like all core devs. But like, yeah, sure. If things keep going well and like there are no more big issues that we find, then probably the months after June still seems reasonable. Whether that's like 1 or 4, like, or 5, like, I don't want to make a call there. Like, something really terrible would have to happen for it to be delayed like a year at this point. Like, I don't know what could cause that. Like, nothing like that we've ever encountered like on Ethereum. So it's just like, but it's just very hard to tell you, like, maybe we find some weird sync issues which take us 2 months to debug. Like, that could happen, but there's no way to know really.
So there are some misconceptions out there about what will happen on Ethereum after the merge, particularly around whether and how gas prices might change. Can you clarify what it is that people should expect in terms of gas fees?
Right. So in short, gas fees should basically stay the same. The merge doesn't really change the throughput of Ethereum. It does a tiny thing, which blocks are now 13 seconds, and they'll lower to 12 seconds. So, you get like 9% more throughput. And so in practice, if all things were perfectly stable, you would imagine fees go down by like 8-9%. But there's so much volatility on Ethereum that's basically nothing. But scalability is like super important, and it is like the next thing we're kind of working on. So just to give some context, the main way Ethereum thinks about scalability today is like through rollups, and those are already live, right? Like, there's optimistic rollups live, there's zero knowledge rollups that are going live as well, and these today already provide way lower fees than the Ethereum mainnet for end users. And a large part of what users pay for when they pay a transaction fee on rollups is storing data back on layer 1. So the way that rollups work is that they generate all this transaction data, just like the Ethereum mainnet, but instead of executing every transaction on layer 1, they execute them all on layer 2, but then they need to post back the transaction data on layer 1, because if something goes wrong, they need to then be able to execute it. And this is for optimistic rollups. Zero knowledge rollup work a bit differently because they don't post the full data, they post back proofs. But the general concept that like users on L2 pay for posting data back to Ethereum L1, that's true across zero knowledge and optimistic rollups. And so one big thing we can do to lower transaction fees on rollup is just make it cheaper to put data back on Ethereum layer 1. And so the long-term roadmap for that is a full sharding infrastructure, and sharding is basically a whole separate kind of data network on Ethereum that runs in parallel to smart contracts, which just stores data for a limited period of time so that rollups can just use that as a way to post the data back. It's a bit complicated to ship all that, and the fees are high today, so we want to do some things quicker. We basically have 2 short-term things that we're working on. One is just straight up reducing the cost of storing data on layer 1. The challenge by doing that is that it does grow the rate at which like an Ethereum node will grow. So if we make it cheaper to store data, the more data gets stored, and so the blockchain grows quicker. And we think, we're probably at the point where it might make sense to do something like that if we really have to, because the fees have gotten so high. The other thing that we're working on, which we hope we can get done, is EIP 4844. And this is kind of an in-between where it doesn't do the full sharding infrastructure, but it basically creates a new type of transaction on Ethereum, which has a little bit of shard data on it. And then rollups can just use these new types of transactions to store kind of data for a cheaper price than they currently can. And the thing that's neat with that is that it would lay, from like an application perspective's point of view, all of the infrastructure that we're going to have in sharding. So it's like we can do this thing which doesn't provide full sharding yet, but it gives them kind of all the scaffolding that'll be there when sharding is, so that if, like, say, Optimism or Starkware or Arbitrum need to update to use this, they won't have to update again once we have full sharding. So it is a bit more complicated to get done than just straight up lowering the cost of storing data. But it does feel like a happy medium, and hopefully that's something we can do kind of in the upgrade after the merge.
And so if you were to put a timeline on that, what would that timeline be?
No idea. And I think the upgrade after the merge timeline will probably depend on whether we think we want to do this more complicated new transaction type with data in them, or just a simple data reduction cost. But yeah, it's the merge is not even over, so it's hard for me to predict how long it'll take us to ship the next thing.
Yeah, no, I get it. I was half teasing with that question. Okay, well, this has been incredibly fascinating, and just hopefully it will clarify a lot of things for people.
Okay, y'all. So basically, y'all heard what's going on. Like my man said, Bako said it could be 1 to 5 months. 1 to 5 months from June. And he almost said it could be a year too. Well, he said it couldn't be, but he said, never know. And if you play that back, you kind of seen him like slip up, like maybe he knew something was up that he didn't want to tell nobody. But he said we in April, and it take 2 months, at least 2 months after a successful, test run shadow fork to get to, launch it on the main net. So, and then 2 months after that, because of 2 months testing and two, whatever. So I'm thinking like October, guys. I know I'm about to be minding down until, but, I mean, why not? Shoot. And I'm sorry about the fans in the background. I got the miners going, and man, we in Michigan. It's cold, guys. I have my hoodie on. It's cold, bro. It's freezing outside. Like 30 degrees. Like, what happened to the spring? It's gone. But anyways, so basically the merge is only to like wipe the miners out. Basically, they're trying to wipe the miners out and move to proof of stake. It's not gonna change the gas fees. He said slightly, but the volatility is so much that it's not even gonna make a difference. So I mean, he said it without saying it's not gonna change the gas fees, guys. So if that's what y'all looking for, it's not gonna change it. But in a year or two, you never know. It might be some real stuff. But this is a diagram on what he was talking about. So it's running in line here with the beacon slot. And to see, if it's successful or not. But that's all we got here today on the Crypto Chronicles channel. Please smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment as well. And we gonna get on to 1,000, guys. We almost there. And thanks everybody for those who support. It's greatly appreciated. And stick on with us. We got some cool stuff going on. I got some equipment on the way, guys, and we are going to be testing out some profitability and efficiency on some intels. I'm not going to tell y'all what kind of intels they are, but maybe you might be able to guess, but maybe not. And we're going to see whether or not it's, better to buy, Intel or to buy, AMD, a Ryzen 9 3900X, to be specific, because they kind of expensive right now. You can find them used for about 300. New, you're gonna spend about $500. So maybe we might be able to cut that cost down. I got a really, really cheap build, but we'll see how it goes, how profitable it is, and is it worth it? Well, all right, guys, that's it on the Crypto Chronicles channel. Skeezy all day. We out.